What's up, guys? Fear, greed, and FOMO. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're also going to take a look at traditional markets. We're going to take a look at the dollar. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Stick around. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. Let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Don't forget, we do a free Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway. We do that every Monday. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you subscribe to the channel, tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos, smash that thumbs up button, and leave your comment below. All right, let's look at the Dow Jones. Also, stick around. I'm going to tell you how to win a free $500 Prime XBT account. So let's look at the Dow. What I'm looking at here, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. I've been talking about the rug getting pulled. I still believe this is going to happen, and it's going to be epic. When? Who knows? But it's inevitable in my opinion. Now let's look at what's going on over here. We had major bearish divergence before this big crash. If we look at what's going on over here, it's almost identical. If you take a look at, let's put an arrow here, at this drop right there and how it looked in the RSI here, and this is the daily. If you look at where we're at now, we had this drop over here, looks almost identical, and we're still making bearish divergence. It does look possible, guys. And obviously, if you guys watch the markets, you can tell this is like a ghost ship. There's no reason for any of this to be rising. And if you take a look around, everybody and their brother is investing their money into stocks, crypto, whatever else, which is a sign that it's an easy way to pull the rug and pull all the money out of those people's pockets just by dropping. So be careful. We could end up seeing something like this very soon. And if we look at a trend line down here, how low could that go for the Dow? If you guys remember, I've been talking about June for the next low in Bitcoin. And if we went to June here on the Dow, that could be around 15,000 points. Again, not to say it's going to happen. We could continue up from here. If we do, then I believe Bitcoin will. But I know a lot of people think that Bitcoin is not correlated anymore with stocks and whatnot. But we've seen what happens back here in February and March. If we have another drop like that, it's just inevitable that's going to take Bitcoin with it. Be careful. FOMO, you know, everybody, if you ever heard the saying, buy the fear, when people are fearful, buy, when people are greedy, sell. Well, that's where we're at right now. Everybody's extremely greedy. Have caution. If you guys have made life-changing gains off of Bitcoin, remember, unrealized profit is not profit until you realize it. So if you haven't at least taken your initial investment off the table, be prepared. You could ride that down 80 to 90%. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it is possible. We're going to take a look at the bullish case and the bearish case in Bitcoin. But first, we're going to take a look at the dollar, the fractal that we've been watching here. We have broken out. The dollar is looking actually pretty strong today. But as you can see on the 3-day chart, once we broke out of this wedge, we did retest it, and then we are moving up, back up right now. And you can see last time we broke out of this wedge, we didn't retest this time, but we still had a long-term bull cycle for the dollar. I do believe we're probably going to see the same thing here. Even if we look at, let me move this up, shrink this down, and kind of look at what's going on here in the MACD. As you can see, last time when we hit the wave 4 here in the MACD, we had our big hump here. Then we had a smaller hump when we bottomed out, just like we had here. But after that, it did not go all the way back down into the red. We got a huge bounce up. Same thing. We're in the same spot for the dollar. And when the dollar rises, that means people are getting out of risky investments or risky assets, and they get back into the dollar. That's what causes the rise in the dollar. I've been talking about this for a long time, so be careful, be cautious. And let's take a look at the dollar, or I'm sorry, this is the Bitcoin 1 hour chart. So we had Back here, we called this at around 49,550, which obviously you guys know we broke 50,000. But when we broke this, I said until we open and close at least a 4-hour candle above this, which we have not done yet. Let me zoom in so you can see it. We have not opened and closed a single candle above this. So keep an eye on that. If that does happen, then we could be looking up towards that $55,000 range. We had the wick up above here, which could have been just a bull trap. We'll see what happens. First, we have to open and close a candle above the 49,550 to 49,600. If we open and close a 4-hour, then there's a possibility we could actually see that 59.5. We'll take a look at in the 4-hour. I also have a spot we need to look at. It's right around 51,800. So, we'll take a look at that. But let's look at where we're at now and take a look at the Fibonacci retracement. If we cannot manage to get any higher here, our first retracement level is going to be the 0.236 at 45,445. Then we have the 0.382 at 42,250, and that would be a measured move of a breakdown from this wedge, depending on where we break. If we break the bottom of this wedge, and that's going to be around the $48,000 range, somewhere in there. We obviously would most likely get a bounce here, come back up, and then get to our 42.25 target. Then we have the golden pocket zone down here around 36.3. That would be coming down to retest this rising wedge that we broke out of back over here. If we do come back down there, it's 36.3. I have a few other things that line up pretty good with that. We're also going to take a look at the RSI on Bitcoin from the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, so on. So stick around for that. And if you guys are interested in trading where you can make money, whether Bitcoin goes up or down, doesn't matter. If you're cautious, careful, and you know what you're doing, use stop losses and risk management. I'll leave a tutorial on how to use the margin up top. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. You can use my promo code SAVY50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus that you can use towards your margin. SAVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. All right, so taking a look at the 4-hour, we did break down below this rising channel. On the 4-hour RSI, we did manage to get back inside it, which is where we're at now. Look at this as a rising wedge. We've been watching this for over a week, I believe, for a possible retest. If we were to come up here today at some point, maybe around the 51.8, I would look for a rejection there. If we do manage to get up above this and get support on this top trend line, we could go as high. Obviously, our first target's going to be that 55,000, and then our next target is going to be right around the 68 to $69,000 range. If we're able to break above this, and that's if it happens today. If it happens tomorrow or whatever, then it moves up with the trend line. But if we manage to get up above the 51.8 and get support, then we could be looking as high as the $69,000 range. But keep in mind, we do have that 55 target. What we could see if we break here is go up to the 55, come back, retest this trend line before continuing up. Otherwise, if we cannot get above this and our traditional markets do dump, like I believe it is very likely, then we could be coming all the way back down, and there's that 36.3 again. And if it was to follow this trend line here, that would get us to around the end of February, probably within the next 10 days or so. So keep in mind that is a possibility. And if we break that, then it gets extremely bearish. If we were to break below that, we could be looking at the 18.8, somewhere in that range. Guys, be very cautious. There's, FOMO is when you start hearing your family members and people you haven't talked to in a while, everybody's calling, say invest in this or whatnot. It's usually too late. Just be careful. I know everybody says institutional money's in and it's going to keep buying, which is definitely a possibility. I mean, that is the bullish case, but they're in it to get cash just like everyone else. And if you listen to the people with Bitcoin that say, I'm not going to sell to $100,000 and the dollar's dead and it's inflation and the dollar's nothing, but well, what are they going to sell into when Bitcoin gets to 100,000 if they don't believe in the dollar? I mean, come on, just think about it. But anyways, let's look at the daily. As you can see, higher highs in the price action, still getting lower highs in the RSI. Now this can be erased. Like I said, if we get up to that 55,000, we would still be showing bearish divergence in here. So unless we break this top up here, then we're still going to have bearish divergence. So be cautious. This is not an area to buy in my opinion. Do what you want. I don't give financial advice. Let's take a look at the 2-day. Same thing, higher highs in the price, lower highs in the RSI, bearish divergence. Let's take a look at the 3-day. 3-day, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the, let me see something here. Okay, yeah, lower highs in the RSI, that's bearish divergence. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly, I don't know why these keep popping up here, but anyway, you can see lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action, bearish divergence. And let's take a look at the monthly. Same thing in the monthly. Higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. Let's take a look at the dollar chart over the Bitcoin chart. As you can see, every time the dollar bottoms out on this trend line, it has bottomed out. And I had showed you why I believe the dollar is strong right now and getting stronger. Usually when this happens, Bitcoin is near the top, if not topped out, when we hit this trend line on the dollar. And if we raise it up to the top, when the dollar tops, Bitcoin has bottomed. When the dollar tops, Bitcoin has bottomed. So keep that in mind. You know, I'm not saying that Bitcoin can't go any higher, but I am saying you need to be cautious. You need to take hold of your emotions, because usually if you're emotional, like if you're watching this and saying, no way, Bitcoin's never going down, blah, 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 you're running on pure emotion. I don't care what anyone says. The only fundamental in Bitcoin that has changed is the price. The price is the only thing that's changing really on Bitcoin. So be cautious, guys. Let's take a look at the 2000. First, we're going to take a look at the 2017 bubble pop. As you can see, we had a rising channel here. Once we broke above it, we had our parabolic rise. And if we check the percentage of the drop from the top to bottom here, was around 84% drop. And now to think that can never happen again is absolutely insane. If you ask me, that's what Bitcoin does. When it has parabolic rises, it retraces 80 to 90%. Does that mean we have to retrace from here? No, we could actually go to 100,000. I don't think it's going to happen, but what I think is not what the market does. But I am showing you the possibilities here. And if you look at 2019, from top to our retracement was 72. And I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to die. I'm saying I don't think Bitcoin's ready. I still think it's correlated with the markets. And I do believe the markets are going to crash hard and take everyone's money. That's just what happens. So let's look at where we're at now. If we have seen the top, if we went down 84%, that would actually be around an $8,000 range. I've showed you yesterday, if you didn't see it in yesterday's video, each time we came below the second touch on that channel, and it measures out pretty much perfectly around that 7,800 range if that was to happen again. If it was to top out and make a triangle just like it has on all these, if we take our triangle and we go take a measured move of the whole triangle to where it broke down, that gets us right to our low. The same thing happened over here in 2019. Take a measured move of the triangle where it broke down, got us to our low. We don't have a definite, this is not a definite top, nor is it the definite bottom of the triangle. So this could move, you know, depending on what happens. Even the top can go higher. But if, theoretically, if we've topped out here, and let's say this was the bottom line, and we get something like this happening, we get a drop down, come back up, drop down, and we break this bottom trend line. And again, this bottom trend line can move. It doesn't not have to be there. But if we were to do that, that gets us lined up with our target right here around 70, between 7 and 8,000. But again, let's say this ended up being something like this, and we take a measured move of that, depending on where it was to break, that would change everything. That would be around 13,000. Again, guys, I'm not saying that it has to happen. I'm saying be cautious, be careful. And if you're emotional, if this makes you mad, then you need to check your emotions, because nobody knows what is going to happen with Bitcoin. Nobody knows where Bitcoin's going to go. I'm giving you my ideas. Do what you will with them. Go ahead and make sure you watch the super bullish channels. And then, you know, you got to take both sides into your thought process. It's just what you need to do. But anyways, looking at the funding rate, it's extremely high again, super high funding rate. That's usually a bearish sign. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin, we have the target here from the Adam and Eve at around 271. I'm still looking at that. There is our old resistance around 183. We could come back down here if we test that and continue up. I still have the target at 271, and I'm not saying that's the end and Litecoin stops there either. Still possibility Litecoin breaks its all-time high just like Ethereum did. Usually when Bitcoin is done with its bull cycle and it has topped out, the alts will have another run. Usually, doesn't have to happen. Let's see. If 183 was to break, then our next line of support's around the 147 range. And if we did get down there, you know, we may bounce around here for a while before continuing up. But there's no guarantees in the market, guys. Let's take a look at Ethereum. We've been watching this rising channel. And today, the top of this channel is around the 163.50 range. And we've been talking about that. If we're able to break that, get support on top, we're looking at about a $2,400 Ethereum. It's 2428 is the measured move, and that's if we were to break out today. If not, if we're to come back down here and test this high at 1487, which would be the bottom of this channel, if we get a bounce from there, then we could continue up higher. If we break this at some point, the bottom of this trend line could get us down to around $1,000 Ethereum, possibly even lower. Keep an eye on that. We have watched this falling trend or this falling channel, and we did bounce out of it and got support on the 4-hour RSI. So just some things to keep an eye on. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you share it. If you would, don't forget to subscribe by clicking your CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash the like button. Leave your comment below. Don't forget. Oh yeah, to get the Prime XBT, all you have to do is leave 500 in your comment below. That will get you entered to win the $500 Prime XBT account. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out inkyourimage.com. There's links down below with my other affiliate links. This is my wife's company. She makes a lot of personalized gifts. She can put pictures or whatever you want on glass, aluminum, all kinds of different stuff. There's also a crypto section. Definitely check it out. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. If you are trading, make sure you use risk management. Make sure you use stop losses. Don't over leverage and don't play with more money than you're willing to lose. Take it easy, guys. I'm out.